Thank you.
All right, let's keep this conversation going. Joining me now for more, the host of the Kimberly Guilfoyle Show on Rumble, Kimberly Guilfoyle herself. All right, so Kim, this whole thing goes down. Obviously, you're on the inside bubble of this. What's the feeling of the family on this? How much mentally can you guys continue to take? Because it's unbelievable. I would have broken years ago.
I don't think you would have, actually. I think you're pretty tough, and we're tough, all of us. And you know what we think? We think this is ridiculous, that it is an outrage, that is a miscarriage of justice, that we cannot even believe this is happening in the United States of America. But I want to tell you something. I sit there and I feel upset about it because I do not like this happening to our president, my father-in-law, all of the above. It's disgraceful. However, his attitude and his strength is unbelievable. He is so strong about this. He says, let him come after him because he's proud to stand in the way between us and them. That's what it is. He said, I will take this. It is an honor because they cannot get through me to you, which is really true. And then he also made a very savage, funny joke when he said, you know, hey, I'm just one more indictment away from totally winning, you know, this election, essentially, which made me laugh. I was like, you know what? That's true. He's tough. You know, he was tough dealing with foreign leaders and people in countries that didn't want to see the American people or the United States do well. So this is something he's proud to stand up for. But, you know, obviously, as a former prosecutor with cases up to the Supreme Court, this is a baseless sham indictment. We've laid this out time and time again. They are criminalizing, as you have pointed out, free speech in this country. Well, it is outrageous, just based on political differences, because they want to do away with and imprison the top political opponent for 2024. It really is that.
And I want to get your point of view as a prosecutor here. You know, obviously you have extensive experience in that. They want a speedy trial. The government, the prosecutors want a speedy trial on this. Is this and that could be as quickly as less than 2 months. Is that an adequate time for Donald Trump's legal defense team? I don't know how many are in total on that team, but you would need hundreds of people. I mean, the government had hundreds of people and 2.5 years to compile all this. Is that an adequate time frame? Do you think this judge might actually grant that, even despite an appeal or a motion against it from the defense?
I just want to tell you, I think it's just more lip service. These are people are very disingenuous. They're very dishonest and corrupt. I don't think anything they say is actually what they believe. And I'll tell you something, it is not feasible whatsoever to be able to proceed that quickly with a case of this magnitude and the number of witnesses and documents, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't even think that Jack Smith and his sleazy team of wannabe prosecutors are even remotely capable of putting a case together quickly like that. It's just not going to happen. And I don't think they want to. I think they want to drag this out and smear an honest man who served this country admirably and is well-intentioned to do so again, and to try to destroy him in every way, shape, and form, to try to diminish and depress any kind of support. But it's backfiring. These are the facts. He's up 40% in some of these polls. He's up across the board in swing states like Iowa and New Hampshire. He's crushing Biden. He's crushing any one of the people trying to run against him in the primary. He's got money coming in. So this is all stacked in his favor. This is actually helping him. This is how stupid these people are.
It really is remarkable. You got to think that, like, they are not looking past the 6 inches in front of their face on this one. But let's get back to the matter of the trial here. Okay, one of the biggest things is like conspiracy to like keep people from having their rights, or whatever the exact charge is. But I mean, this is like I said earlier on when I opened, if this is going to be the standard, I mean, the entire New York State legislature, just for a recent example, passed gun laws that were overturned by the Supreme Court. Could we then charge that entire legislature with a conspiracy to take our rights?
No, because Donald Trump isn't in that legislature. You see what I'm saying? This is just two different. Yeah, there you go. Because there's two different rules of law. There's like, this goes for Trump, this goes for everybody else. I mean, an obstruction of an official proceeding. How many times have we seen when leftists go berserk? Okay, whether it's Kavanaugh hearings or Roe v. Wade, abortion issues, whatever, they interrupt a congressional hearing. Do we see any prosecutions for that? But they want to try and pin this whole thing in January 6th on President Trump? It's outrageous. It's not going to stand. That is the bottom line. And whether it's a Georgia case, whether it's that moron Alvin Bragg up in New York, whether it's Jack Smith with this nonsense of the documents when President Trump had the absolute right under the Presidential Records Act to be able to declassify those documents, that's going to be thrown out too. At the end of the day, President Trump will be stronger than ever before. He will be vindicated, and he will be carried into office on November 7th, 2024 by the American people who will get to decide, who will vote, and will say enough is enough.
Yeah, probably you're right. But let's talk about like the realistic paths this could go. In D.C., like you said, this judge, I mean, there's like a real shot, no matter how shady these charges are, Trump could actually get convicted of this. Are they really, first off, are they really willing to put a former president in jail over some really shaky charges? And then let's say, I mean, look, Hunter and Joe Biden have their own matters right now with a lot of what's going on, which, by the way, they are totally hiding behind this Trump stuff with that. Biden's been whisked off to the beach to not make comments on it. You could have potentially a presidential race, one guy running from jail, another guy running from an impeachment hearing. Is that the new norm where it's just like, this is how it is now? Are we that messed up?
Yeah, no, you're not watching a bad Netflix movie. I mean, this is what's going on, in this country. You've got, Biden, a complete moron, okay, baking himself like a lobster out there, but at least he's not in the White House because we don't need him over there. You've got Hunter Biden, who's a complete corrupt criminal who should be spending decades, behind bars, but I think they're going to get rid of them. But bottom line is, Donald Trump, even if they went forward and actually convicted him of any of this, it will go up on appeal. And you're right. Be realistic about it. Out of control prosecutor, far left judge, Trump hating jury of wackos in D.C. So the facts and the law don't matter, even if he was factually innocent. But ultimately, he will be able to prevail in this. And I do believe that. And I do think it's going to come down to November 7th, because essentially that's the real jury of his peers that will decide. And we already see the trajectory, of where that is going. And he is going to prevail. And this is becoming laughable, just so you know. The whole thing is ridiculous.
100%.
What's it? And, an indictment and new charges, every 3 weeks. It's a joke. Yeah, well, I mean, literally, that's it. They're losing any credibility, Carl, because this is not real. It is a joke. It is not anything that the American people should even have to hear about or witness. I feel sorry for the people in this country.
Kim,
this is who we have in offices.
If you take Trump out of 5 miles outside of any city, there's not a jury in the world that will convict him. But Kim Guilfoyle, we appreciate you being here very much.
You're absolutely right. My pleasure.
All right.